For today's lesson, we'll be discussing about multiplying decimals mentally up to two decimal places by 0.1, 0.01, 10, and 100. To multiply the decimal numbers by 10 and 100, just move the decimal point to the right to as many zeros are there in 10 or 100. So in short, you don't have to multiply it just like how you multiply decimal numbers. There is a shortcut way to do it, or a shortcut method to do it, just like this one. So if we have the factors 2.3 multiplied by 100, the product will be 230. So what happened here is that we move the decimal point to the right two times since we have two zeros in 100. So it will be 2.3. So if we move this decimal point to the right two times, it will be like this. So 1, 2. And then we put here our decimal points. So notice that we have here an empty space. So for every empty space that we have, if we are moving a decimal point, we simply put 0. So 2.3 times 100, that is 230. So we don't have to put our decimal point at the end since we're talking about whole numbers. The second one is 2.3 times 10. So since we have 1 0 for the digit 10, we just simply move the decimal point once. So it will be from here to this point. So therefore, we now have 23. For the second one, to multiply decimal numbers by 0.1 and 0.01, just move the decimal point to the left a while ago, to the right, this time to the left, since we're talking about the factors 0.1 and 0.01, to as many decimal places are there in 0.1 or 0.01. Take note that in 0.1, we only have one decimal place, while in 0.01, we have two decimal places. So as an example, we have here 2.3 multiplied by 0.1. Again, as mentioned, 0.1 has only one decimal place. So we move this decimal point. So I will write it down here. We move this decimal point to the left one time only, or one space only. So 1. And then we put now here our decimal point and then add a 0. So the resulting answer, or the answer, is 0.23, which is our product. The second one is 2.3 times 0.01. So for 0.01, there are two decimal places. So we now move the decimal point two times to the left. Sorry, so this is 2.3. So we move it two times to the left from our decimal point. So 1, 2. And then put here our decimal point. Again, notice that there is an empty space here. So we put a 0 and then a 0 for our whole number part. So we now have 0.023 as our product. Let's have another example. Find the value of n in 45.67 times 100. For our solution, to multiply by 100, simply move the decimal point two places to the right. So we have here 45.67. Move this decimal point twice to the right. So the answer now is 4,567. Next, multiply 781.31. So 781.31 by 100. So to do the mental multiplication, again, we have two zeros in 100. So simply move this decimal point to the right two times. So 1, 2. So we put here our decimal point. So the answer now is 78,131. Next, what's the product of 87.3 and 0.1? So for our solution, to multiply by 0.1, we simply move the decimal point 1 places to the left. It's to the left because our factor is 0.1, and it is only one place to the left because there's only one decimal place for 0.1. So if we have 87.3, we move this decimal point one time to the left. So our final answer now is 8.73. Next, let us find the product of 2,782.57 and 0.01. Take note that in 0.01 we have two decimal places, so we move this decimal point two times going to the left. So 1, 2. So we just put our decimal point here. So therefore, we now have 27.8257. Next, simplify the groupings of 74.21 plus 82.04 multiplied by 0.01. So again, step 1, add 74.21 and 82.04 to clear the grouping symbols. So the sum is 156.25. After that, we multiply 156.25 by 0.1. Take note, again, to multiply by 0.01, simply move the decimal point two places to the left. So we move it 1, 2. So now the answer is 1.56 or 1.5625. So that is how we do mental multiplication by 10, 100, 0.1, and 0.01.